Hello, welcome back. In this session, we are going to see common table expression, in short CTE. So CTE is a temporary named result set that you can reference within a select statement immediately. And if you see, I highlighted three words here, the temporary, select, immediately. So that means CTE generates a temporary result set which you can use in further select statements immediately. That means, let's see the syntax to understand it better. So to write a CTE, we should start with the keyword called with. With keyword creates a CTE, and then name the CTE and CTE columns. Then use as. In the bracket, you can write the general select statement. That select statement result becomes the CTE result. So that means that result set is a temporary result set, which is a CTE result. And on top of that CTE result here, and then write select star from the CTE name, whatever you provide here. So once the select statement executes, and if you run any other select statement using like one more select statement, select star from CTE name, it won't work. Because as soon as you write one select statement on top of the CTE, that's it. The temporary result set is gone. Okay. So that is the meaning of CTE. We'll see while writing the code, you will understand better whatever I am saying here. So before going into the code, let me mention few points here. If you are coming from different SQL background, you may heard of recursive and non-recursive CTEs. So HANA supports only non-recursive CTE. The recursive CTEs are not supported by HANA. So the recursive CTEs generally we use like if you have a EMP table, and in the same table if you have a manager column, then you can look up like you can run the select statement again and again on the same table. So that is called recursive, which is not supported by HANA. But the good news is HANA supports hierarchies. We will cover the hierarchy part in the later sessions. That hierarchy gives same result what you are expecting in the recursive CTE, and there are more advanced features in the hierarchies in HANA. Okay, we will cover that later. And select the second one, update delete statements are not possible in CTE. So in general SQL, you can write select, update, delete on top of the CTE statement, but not here. So the above two options, as I mentioned, ANSI are supported in ANSI SQL. The example case is Microsoft SQL Server. Okay, so let's jump into the code. So in our previous example, the calculated column, we did a subquery option, then we achieved what we want, right? Now what I am going to do is I am going to write a CTE statement with my CTE, and then the CTE column names, right? So for example, here I am going to use what my employee table, employee name, e-name and bonus. Instead of star, e-name and the bonus. So here I am going to mention e-name, bonus as, and this select the whole select statement. Okay, so the select statement starts from here and ends here. So that becomes the CTE, comma, I am going to write a select star from my CTE where bonus greater than or equal to 500. Let me run this query. Syntax error near select statement. Okay, so the comma is not required actually. Let me run. I'll tell you when the comma is required. Okay, so now we got the result bonus which is greater than 500 and all the employee names. Okay, now what I did here, with keyword and the CTE name and the column names here. and then the CTE select statement, which is the select from EMP table with the calculated column. And this result goes to the my CTE temporary result set, and on top of the temporary result set I am running a select statement. Okay, now for example, if I write one more select statement, now if I run this, then see the select star from my CTE invalid table name. That means once we write the select statement immediately after the CTE, that executes fine, this part. But the second statement, the CTE is gone. So that's why it's not working. One more thing, the CTE names, the CTE column names we mentioned here is ename and bonus. Actually, if you don't want to use, no need to use. Those are completely optional. And the column names will be whatever the names you mentioned here, those will become the column names. Employee name, bonus. For example, if I mention employee name and bonus, and here if I name if I name employee name as EMP underscore name, if I made like that, still I'll get e name only because of these columns mentioned in the CTE. If I remove, then I'll get whatever the column names generated from the below select statement. Okay, now if you want to write one more CTE, you can write by using comma, which we used and deleted, right? So now in the second CTE, no need to use with statement. You can directly continue with second CTE as select star from, you can reference the first CTE or you can reference some other table, it's okay. Select star from, let's refer the first CTE, my CTE, where bonus is equal to 600. Let me just to show something, right? So bonus is equal to 600. Okay, now here I can run second CTE. Okay, this also works fine. Okay, so like that you can continue with n number of CTEs, and all CTEs once you write the select statement are gone. Okay, that's the CTE. And let's see one more example where I feel something interesting with the CTE. Now the requirement is something like this. So let me delete all these semicolons. And union. Okay, so what I did here is I named the table name as a column name and alias name is table, and then count star how many records in each table, and then here alias name is CNT. So let me run this statement and see the result. Okay, now I got all the table names and their count. But if I want to if you remember in the while setting up the database, I just gave you the select star statements to validate the database tables are updated correctly or not. But the proper way to validate is run the count, and also it would be good if I have another column called total and sum of all these records. Okay, so if that is the case, then my result looks good, right? So to make that total column. So the only option I can think right now is union, select total as, you no need to write actually the table name every time, but it's okay. Total, not the table name, the aliasing of table. Even you can ignore, right, in the union statement if you remember correctly. Then count star from, what I do here is I'll take all these statements, okay. So what I did here is up to this level we have tables, and the same tables I took one more time to union in the union class and doing the count star. So for example, now if I write this, if I run this select statement, if I run this statement, this is what I was, okay. So total is missing something, okay. Let me see, I think something wrong here, okay. So here instead of count star, I think this is not correct. So let me do sum of C and T, okay. Now if I run this, now I got the correct result, 100,051. So which is what I was expecting. But the problem here is the code length becomes so long, right? This is not a good thing. So let's solve this problem with CTE. So here the below code, it's not required for me. So here simple with CTE underscore tab, as I'm not defining any columns here. Now instead of union, I'll simply close the CTE here, and then I'll write select star from CTE underscore tab, and then use union here, and then use this, okay, use this statement here, and then CTE tab. Remember, this select statement and this select statement all together is a one single select statement when you are using union. Don't think that this is a first statement, then this is second statement, and why the second statement is still working in this case. So that's not the case. When you are using union, it's a single statement. Okay, now my code become small. Let's see the result set. Perfect, right? So we got the same result what we got before. So the CTE here made our code so small, like almost it reduced 3, 3, 6, 9, 12, almost 12, 15 lines reduced in this case. So that is another case I can say, like when you have a aliased calculated column name and you want to write a where class, you can use either subquery or CTE, and the second one is this one. So basically CTE, whatever you solve with the CTE, there are multiple ways to solve, by using joins or subqueries or temporary tables, something like that. But sometimes I feel CTE is very handy, and in general I use CTE very common while I'm working at client and solving some problems. And you will see more examples when we go to the problem solving marathon section. There I used CTE in multiple cases to solve the complex queries. So you will understand the benefit of CTE better in that session. So that's all for this session. See you in the next session. Until then, happy learning. Bye.